Hey everybody, this is KJ, and I've been meaning to do something with this here YouTube channel that I got going on. And some of you people that know me know that this summer here, I left my job back in March, and this summer here I've been trying to do more of the flea marketing and kind of a bit of homesteading, farming, whatever you will. And I figure, you know what? I've been trying to do a Tumblr blog. I've been trying to do a Google Plus thing. I've put a little bit up on Twitter, not a lot. But I said, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and start putting things up on YouTube? Because I did a little search earlier. I don't know. I found something stupid on YouTube. I mean, I was tagged in something or whatever. I don't know. It's probably something on Facebook. So I thought, you know what? I just did a quick search on flea markets, and I found that there's like a whole bunch of people out there who are doing this thing, a lot better than I am at this point. And it's kind of like their life. They're scrapping, they're doing flea markets, buying storage auctions and stuff like that. So I thought, well, why can't I do that with my YouTube? So that's what I'm going to do. So first of all, I'm going to just give you a little tour of the property here. So I'm just going to switch the camera around, and we'll start out here. We'll just go for a little walk around. Show you, this is my place. Of course, here's my truck. As you can see, I'm just hanging out here. We have about 72 acres between me and my dad. This is back my old motor home. We used to go camping in this back before I got my divorce, but when I got divorced, it was just a little bit too much for me to upkeep it, so we parked it here, and we were using it for a party. I mean, back in there somewhere, there's a fire pit. I promise you, it really is back there. It's there's an old couch and a couple chairs and stuff laying back in there, but I swear there's actually a fire pit back in there. But yeah, we were using that couch that camper for a party mobile, if you will, here on the property for my 4x4 club and stuff. It's we haven't really been together lately, so it as you can see, the weeds grew up around it. And this trailer here, we lived in that like 10 or 15 years ago. Like literally bought it right before we got married. It's pretty much storage now. And this trailer here was actually a playhouse for me and my sister at one point in time, and it's full crap too. As you can see, here's a couple Daytonas, Dodge Daytonas. This one here actually is like the first car I ever bought with my own money, and you're starting to see a thing that I got a lot of old stuff laying. Of course, here we go over in the yard. I got the tent out because it was really wet when we came home from Memorial Day weekend, and it rode around the back of my truck for like a week because it was rainy and nasty here. And I finally got it out. Hopefully it's dry. I should be able to take it down tonight, hopefully. My old truck's there. You can see clear over to the mountain there. That's our property. Was my grandmother's trailer. She put that in here in 1981. My uncle lives there now. He's a retired truck driver, basically in pretty bad health, so he lives there. You can look down towards the road there. There's Tyler's trampoline and Tyler's old trampoline that's still there, even though it's been like 2 years since we got his new one after he put a hole in that. You can see there's another pattern that you'll see is here. How about this? This is my son Joey's Buick. It's actually, we drove this. It was a second vehicle between me and my dad. Needs a little bit of work done to it and stuff. Of course, here's my bus that I use for the flea market business. I was actually over at the sale barn in Annisfort earlier today. Made a little bit of money, didn't do all that great. And there's my co-pilot, Mr. Kermit Duff Frog. See, I mean, I'd show you inside, but I've got the batteries turned off right now. I guess it'll have to be another video. That is my mom and dad's house. That upon the right circumstances, I will be inheriting that. Major reason why I stayed here, and now, in the beginning anyway, that was the major reason I stayed here, because, why would I go somewhere else when I've already got a house waiting for me? And I'm just so glad that managed to happen, because if I had to live anywhere else, I would have went nuts. Here you can see the mockingbirds. They're not happy campers. They argue with me all the time. this is our old swimming pool. About 4 or 5 years ago. Actually, to tell you the truth, this pool here is probably about 15 years old. And we had one before when I was a kid. It got tore up by a hurricane. Actually came up the coast, and there was a tornado, and it threw the deck. The deck was on this side here. It threw the deck into the pool. Well, we got this one the next year, and we used it really heavy for a long, long time, and even my boys used it when they were really little, especially Joe. And then it got a tear in the liner, and it started to look basically like this looks right now. Well, about, I'm going to say 10 years ago, I said to my dad, I said, well, Haffy's with you, and we'll get the pool going. So we did, and we had it going for about 4 years. We didn't use it, I mean, hardly at all, to tell you the truth. When we first fixed it, I was working second shift, and I would come home at night and get in it, at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, because I worked a shop vac, and it was extremely hot in there. So it was really nice to come home and jump in. But my ex-wife, she wasn't the type of person to do anything after work, so she wouldn't bring the boys over. So eventually what happened was it got a small rip in the liner, and I kept meaning to get in and fix it, and with everything that was going on in my life, it just didn't happen. Well, 2 years ago, we had a really rough storm, and it completely ripped the liner. And instead of putting another, $300 into the liner and having to have somebody do it, because I know myself and I would never have gotten it done, unlike my father who did put the last one in it, I said, you know what, let's just make it into a garden. Well, you see how far I've gotten with it. So hopefully that's something to come in the future. Now, speaking of gardens, this is my garden here. This is, basically what I call the family garden. This was actually a garden, man, when I was a kid. My grandmother would have helped plant in this garden. You can see I got some tomato plants in there. They're looking a little wilted now. They need some water tonight. Here we got some squash, a few sunflowers coming up over there. All this was planted by seed. Everything out here in this row was plants. All this stuff here was planted by seed. And there's Charlie. He's our scarecrow. We just got him this weekend at the Goodwill store up in State College. That was pretty cool. Here's a row of beans and peas and pole beans, and then we get into this area here that the weeds overtook on me while we were having that rainy time. I had some corn and stuff planted in here. There's a little bit right there's a corn stalk that's managing to come up, but not much. It's really sad to say, but yeah, the family garden really took a toll with these weeds and stuff. I mean, look, that's just what we pulled this week. I'm going to try to hopefully use that for mulch around some of the other plants, and then maybe I can get some lettuce, some radishes and stuff in, and try to salvage some of this. Unfortunately, we have a groundhog problem. I thought that they had kind of went away, but as you can see, here's the pepper plants. They really need a watering. But yeah, here's one. I mean, you can see this has been chewed on some. That is gone because of the groundhog. There's another one right there that was chewed on. Hopefully Charlie will keep them away. Here you can see this is our little junkyard. That's the Oldsmobile. That's supposed to be a tow car for my mom and dad's motorhome. Hopefully that'll be happening here in the next week or two. My dad's old, I believe, 54 International pickup truck. It runs and drives and everything. Hopefully we'll see that in the road this summer yet, too. There's my old Thunderbird in the weeds. A couple of my cousin's cars and his truck sitting back in there. Old Red Reliable, the Super M460 Farmall tractor. My dad just got that about 2 years ago. Works great. There's an old lawnmower sitting up in the yard, and there's our brush and junk pile up there. I mean, every farm or whatever, I guess every country property's got to have a junk pile on it, right? And you can see we clear up to the top of the hill there, both sides of the road here, over to what we call our turnaround tree. That's all ours. Looking down here towards the old dog house. The dog passed away 2 years ago last month. And then getting back down towards my mom and dad's house and our backup Cavalier car. Looking across, these are my grapevines. I've been trying to resurrect these grapevines. They're another thing, a kind of a casualty of me working at shop vac and not having the umph when I get home at night. And, well, of course, Tyler played baseball for the last 8 years. Really kind of did take a toll on me doing things around here, too, in the spring. And once it gets to looking bad, I mean, not to say that these aren't looking bad, but they're looking a lot better than they did even last year, I'd say. I mean, look, there's a lot of new growth on there. And hopefully we'll get some grapes. These are actually what I consider these Coke grapes. I've named them Coke, not Concord, Coke, because what it was is this end and that end down there was blue Concord grapes, and there were white ones in the middle, and they have morphed together and formed almost like a reddish colored Concord grape. So we named them Coke. So there you can see all these trees over here are walnut trees. That's a walnut tree. And then we have a bunch of lilac bushes. Basically, our most proficient thing is lilacs and walnut trees around here, if you can believe that. These walnut trees, I'm surprised just looking around, but we've done a pretty good job of keeping things mowed off here recently, so there's not a lot. But, I mean, anytime you don't mow for more than about 5 days, little walnut trees pop up. I'm kind of, thinking about digging them up and potting them. And, even if they give me $1 for them a piece at the market, it's money for nothing. And the chicks are free, so to speak. The squirrels love them. They go around here and they dig them up. Or I should say, they pick them up and then they bury them. And then these little walnut trees pop up, and even in the garden. So that's an apple tree. It needs a lot of work. That's another project coming up. This branch, this will just go to show you where we've been. This branch here fell 2 summers ago, July of 2016, during the one storm that rolled through. Still sitting here waiting for someone to zap it away with a chainsaw. That'll probably be me, I would imagine. I mean, just kind of in defense of myself, my dad, he just turned 76 yesterday, and I try not to get him to do a whole lot around here because of his age. And I mean, the man could still probably outwork me if it really came down to it. And I'm a procrastinator. I'm the first one to admit that. I mean, that's why this truck's still sitting here. It needs tires underneath it. It was supposed to be a farm truck, and here it sits. So, I mean, as you can see, there's this yard. I had a easy up here last year all summer long. It got ripped up in the fall and actually got flipped over. So there it sits, and I've done absolutely nothing with it. I barely keep the weeds down around it. I mean, with this weight bench, I bought that 2 years ago, and I think me and the boys have used it maybe 5 times since then. Just sits out here. This is a box that Joey actually started for a school project. He's been graduated 2 years now. And it's got sage in it, and the other side has nothing in it. I think he's planning on planting some lettuce or something in it. I'll take you around back here and just show you this mess. That is probably my one biggest success right here is this tree. This, between this and that cherry tree over there, just to give us a little bit of shade. I mean, it's extremely hot. Even on a day like today where it's only 73 degrees, I gotta run the air conditioner at 60 just to keep it halfway cool. Another little lilac bush here, and this is just to show you how close to the woods I am here. This was actually area where I wanted to be my forest garden. I started working on it 3 years ago, and I actually had really good progress in the beginning. So you can see I come down through here and rototilled this little edge row right here along the woods, and I got some cucumbers and stuff out of it that year. And then the last couple years, everything has just really been crappy. I mean, they've got some pole beans coming up there, so that's cool. But, I mean, that's really about it. So, hopefully, I don't know whether I can get on this stuff this summer that much or what. But, yeah, I had some trees planted in this mess here, and they apparently have all died. So, pretty much a loss on that. In there somewhere, in that mess underneath that walnut tree, is a big pile of soil that I had been mixing with compost for years. Probably the best soil on the farm. And there it is. See a big pile of wood here, and we're all the way back around here to this beautiful Ford F-150 pickup. One of the best. Actually, you know what? I'll go right out on the line and say it that this is the best piece of working equipment that we have on the place. Maybe besides the bus. The bus is working good too. And I know people are going to say, wow, look at all the weeds you have right around your house. I know. This is kind of supposed to be a shade tree garden. There's some irises and stuff in there. You might have seen the pictures on Facebook of those that I posted last week when we got home from camping. I mean, it's really a disaster all the way around. So now you kind of see exactly what I have to deal with here and how it's just basically me, my father, my son Joe, who keeps up with the mowing for the most part, but he's not a whole lot of help when it comes to other things, you know. He's, how do I want to say? He's a little bit lazy, I guess. Of course, so am I. I think there's a neighbor going by. I do have neighbors. I know it doesn't look like it on here, but I do have a couple neighbors around. And like I say, of course, my son Ty, who hasn't been around a whole lot through the last school year. Hopefully, that'll be changing in the days ahead. I mean, some of you guys know that story, some of you don't. So, alright, I'm going to let you go. It's about a 15-minute video already. So, hopefully, we'll be seeing some more stuff coming along the lines. And I'm just going to flip back around here so I can talk to you. So, yeah, like I said, hopefully we'll be getting some more videos up. Maybe I'll get some video from the flea market. I think Tuesday I'll be going up to Clinton County Fairgrounds to do the thing up there. Maybe I'll put up something from the Apex show. That's another, you know, the wrestling element of my life. But there you have it. I will talk to you all later. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Click that subscribe button if you haven't yet, and don't forget to check me out on the book face. You know, Kevin Koch, good old KJ, and I'm on Twitter, good old KJ. Pretty much just put in good old KJ, and you'll find me or something about me. Thanks a lot, guys.